I had a question for each and all of the candidates. That looking at the estimated $650 million budget shortfall, in combination with all the candidates that seem to agree in principle that we want to limit the increase in property taxes, I'd like each candidate to name 3 specific budget areas to cut the budget, and not talk about just the process for the budget, and not talk about admin costs in general, but 3 specific program areas.
That's an excellent question, because this is a difficult budget time, and I think you're entitled to have specific answers. One area would be the millions and millions of dollars that the county is spending to buy public housing. In the 1960s, we thought that buying public housing was the way to help people get housing. It turned out to fail. In the 1990s, cities across the country realized that it's not working. They worked to close down public housing projects and to turn to other means of housing assistance. So that's one area where I would save millions and millions of dollars. I think it's a $20 million program. I would stop subsidizing housing for people who make $99,000 a year. The idea that you will subsidize housing up to the median income, that means the top half subsidizes the entire bottom half, as opposed to helping those people truly in need. And that's the second area. Third area, I would ask the school system to make some sacrifices in its administrative expenditures. We have 3 administrators in our school system for every teacher. We have a ratio of assistant principals of 1 to, I think, 424, whereas our surrounding counties, including Montgomery County, Maryland, have a ratio of 1 to 580, I think it is. If we brought our ratio in line with our surrounding counties and eliminated 124 assistant principal positions, we would save $12 million. And that money could go into the classroom where it belongs, so that we didn't have to increase class size along some of the lines that are being talked about. I believe those are 3 areas, and I think there are some more, but I'll stop. Thank you. Good.
County executive presented the budget only a couple of days ago, and I was at the presentation at the government center, listening to the presentation, also questions from members of the board of supervisors. At that time, I was also given a box full of documents for me to take with me and start studying, so that when one of us gets elected to the board of supervisors, we become prepared to be able to deliver the budget committee, which is the very first Monday after the election, and then go to the public hearings, etc. I'm being honest with you, I have not had a chance to go through all the materials, so it is premature for me to say specifically which areas I would agree to cut at this point. I need to have that discussion with the members of my colleagues and the future colleagues on the board of supervisors, and we'll also have to listen to a public like you before I make my decisions. However, having said that, based upon some of the questions and answers raised at that presentation, some things that come to my mind is whether we can afford to set aside 1 full penny for affordable housing initiative. That's something to consider, because each penny is more than $20 million. I know that half a cent has been already committed to be spent, so half a cent has to be set aside. Whether we can afford to set aside, continue setting aside the other half a cent, I'm going to look into that. For the stormwater management, there's a special district that is being proposed to be constituted within Fairfax County, and county executive is proposing to set aside 1 1/2 cent, which is about more than $30 million for this, which used to be just 1 penny, but he is asking another half a cent for stormwater management. I'm going to look into that, whether it's a right time to do it. And since Mr. Cook mentioned about school administrators, let me tell you, school system spends less than 1% of its budget for non-school-based central administrators. School board budget also contains cuts in number of assistant principals at schools. Whether we can do away with all assistant principals with the size of the schools we have and the number of teachers the principal has to supervise and evaluate the performance, I really doubt we are really damaging the quality of the education we provide the students in our schools. I am very proud of the quality of the educational services we provide to our 170,000 students. I am very proud of achievement by our students, which is not possible without the hard work of the teachers and parents and students.
It's an excellent question on growth. I do need to go back though and make one comment on the prior answers. The gentleman asked a very specific question of what programs we would cut. With all due respect, Mr. Moon, I've seen your mailings. You're telling the people of Braddock District to vote for you because of your experience in government. You've told us that you've served on the school board for 10 years. You have a lot of experience. And yet tonight you refuse to commit to even one spending cut. You said you need to continue reading about it. What have you been doing for 10 years? I assume you've been reading about it. These people deserve specific answers to those questions. I think the question about